Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, Psychological and Interpersonal Impacts on Mental Health and Quality of Life. In this PSA, we'll attempt to give you an overview of the disease and how you, as an educator or guardian, can be a positive force in the lives of children with DMD. First, we'll cover some of the basics of Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. Then, we'll delve into the emotional impacts of the disease, including mental health and coping strategies. Later, we'll discuss how to best support these students as they move through the educational system, adulthood, and life. Lastly, we'll hone in on how to support individuals with DMD as a peer or caregiver. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a devastating muscular disorder caused by a nonsense genetic mutation in the dystrophin gene, resulting in a lack of dystrophin production. It is inherited in an X-linked recessive pattern, primarily affecting young boys, and limits their ambulation and leads to an extremely shortened lifespan. Dystrophin is one of the largest genes in the body and is a vital component of healthy muscle. The loss of dystrophin is devastating, leading to increased sensitivity to muscle damage, progressive loss of muscle mass, respiratory deficiency or failure, and cardiomyopathy. According to recent data, Duchenne muscular dystrophy occurs in roughly 1 in 3,500 live male births. The first symptoms of the disease tend to appear at a young age, manifesting as abnormal gait characteristics, falling, weakened muscles, calf hypertrophy, and even developmental delays. The disease can be confirmed either clinically based on biomarker testing like CK levels and by symptoms, or using a genetic test. The genetic testing will confirm the true cause of the disease. Though multiple treatment methods are under consideration for the disease, there is one aspect of care that can often go unnoticed by clinicians, community members, and caretakers alike: the emotional impact of living with a terminal disease, as well as the negative effects of the progressive degeneration in physical ability and involvement.
The diagnosis of DMD often brings a wave of shock and grief, as parents come to terms with knowledge that their children will face progressive muscle weakness and shortened lifespan. Emotions range from disbelief and denial to sadness and anger, as families grapple with the weight of the diagnosis. As the disease advances, the emotional impact of DMD becomes even more pronounced, witnessing a loved one gradually lose their ability to walk, perform daily activities, and eventually rely on a wheelchair is a heart-wrenching experience. Families find themselves faced with the constant fear of respiratory complications and other associated health issues, as their child's physical independence steadily diminishes. Helplessness, frustration, and profound sadness become frequent companions for both parents and family members, as they mourn the loss of what it was considered a normal life and strive to adapt to the realities of living with a degenerative condition. Nevertheless, despite the immense emotional challenges, families affected by DMD often discover reservoirs of strength within themselves. They exhibit remarkable resilience and unwavering determination to provide the best possible care and support for their children. Growing up under innate resourcefulness, these families create supportive networks seeking out available resources and actively participate in research efforts and advocacy initiatives aimed at improving the lives of those living with DMD. Additionally, families recognize the importance of prioritizing their mental health and emotional well-being. They proactively engage in therapy or counseling, recognizing that it improves a supportive environment where individuals can openly express their feelings, fears, and frustrations related to DMD. Mental health professionals play a crucial role in offering guidance, coping strategies, and tools to manage the emotional impact of the disease. Moreover, families facing DMD often find strength by speaking up for their loved ones and the larger DMD community. They take part in spreading awareness, organizing events to raise funds, and supporting research efforts. Their aim is to speed up the development of better treatments and, in the long run, find a cure. By using their emotions and personal experience to fuel their advocacy work, family can turn their pain into a powerful force for making a difference. This sense of purpose and activism not only helps the DMD community as a whole, but it also empowers families, giving them a feeling of control and hope despite the overwhelming diagnosis.
As an instructor or educator, it is vital that children with DMD experience a sense of community and involvement throughout their childhood as they make the progression to adulthood. Despite positive mental health tendencies at a young age, studies have shown that the involvement of caretakers and educators in the supportive role for children with DMD can wane as the child gets older, leading to poorer mental health in those later stages. Researchers have attributed improved mental health management among adults with DMD to high levels of parent and educator support at a young age. Researchers compared the Health-Related Quality of Life, or HRQL index, of individuals diagnosed with severe pulmonary emphysema with patients with DMD. Researchers proposed that the lifelong status of DMD, as compared to emphysema, allowed individuals who were appropriately supported by their caregivers and family members to adapt much better to the condition that they have had since childhood, despite the similarly dire outcomes associated with both diseases. For educators in particular, it is important to be aware that children with DMD are also prone to unique learning challenges as the result of their condition. The lack of dystrophin due to mutation does not only impact muscle tissue. Dystrophin is a key structural protein that is expressed in many regions of the brain, including the hippocampus, a region of the brain associated with learning and memory. The lack of this protein in vital brain regions like the hippocampus has been suggested to result in issues with verbal, short-term, and working memory. Difficulties in verbal communication may hinder the ability of people with DMD to express themselves effectively, hindering their participation in class discussions and impeding their overall academic progress. Additional challenges with short-term and working memory can make it difficult for them to retain and manipulate information, affecting their comprehension and problem-solving skills. To provide the best educational experience for these children, educators must proactively address their developmental delays by implementing special programs designed to cater to their unique needs or via individualized accommodations that ensure each child's learning style and requirements are appropriately supported. These accommodations may include allowing extra time for tasks and assignments, providing visual aids or assistive technology, and implementing strategies to enhance memory recall to enable children with DMD to reach their full potential.
The transition to adulthood for individuals with DMD can be challenging not only for the patients, but for the primary caregivers and for the rest of the community, as it involves not only physical changes, but social, emotional, and most importantly, psychological struggles. Healthcare needs changes when individuals with DMD transition from childhood to adulthood. The demands become more extremely difficult as they start to lose their ability to utilize upper limbs, lack of ambulation, battling with malnutrition, heart failure, and respiratory insufficiency. Although progressing muscle weakness is the main manifestation of the disease, their psychological component follows along with it. Experiencing a lack of dystrophin from their mutated gene causes abnormalities on their central nervous system, making individuals with DMD have intellectual disabilities. However, most exhibit exceptional performance, and 23% of them were able to finish high school, and 23% of them started vocational education, with 9% completing it. The following list can be considered when creating an accessible environment for individuals with DMD. 1. Make the home accessible. By creating ramps and installing grab bars around the house, if possible, installing a stair lift or elevator, especially for places like apartments and townhouses. 2. Modify furniture and equipment by adjusting tables, chairs, and beds. 3. Use assistive technology by using voice-activated devices like Amazon Alexa or Google Home to control lights, temperature, and other home appliances. 4. Create a safe and comfortable environment by enforcing meditation or yoga or white noises to create a positive mood. 5. Provide adequate space by removing things that could be on their way. And 6. Involve the individual decision-making by listening to their needs and preferences. For individuals with DMD who go to school, the following policies and procedures can be implemented in order to ensure their safety. 1. Implementation of an Individualized Education Plan, or IEP, or 504 Education Plan. 2. Need adaptive or assistive technology devices in the classroom. 3. Need extra time to get to classes. 4. Can miss class time due to physical therapy sessions and medical appointments. 5. Need tutoring or support. 6. Need space when they wear their braces, crutches, walker, or wheelchair. 7. Need extra time to make up assignments and take their tests. 8. Have preferential seating. 9. Educate fellow students to sympathize. Patients and their families are encouraged to participate in clinical trials in order to improve their medical condition. The National Institute of Health, or NIH, has a wide list of clinical trials that are currently ongoing and accepting participants. Supporting organizations like Muscular Dystrophy Association can raise awareness and can advocate for people living with muscular dystrophy. In addition, the following list are advocacy groups and nonprofit organizations that support the psychosocial aspect of DMD. Jet Foundation, Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, or also known PPMD, and Akari Foundation. Lastly, the following lists are general health resources that can aid with basic needs of patients that are suffering from DMD. 1. Agency for Healthcare and Research Quality, or AHRQ, the Social Security Administration Compassionate Allowances Program, the Center on Technology and Disability, the National Human Genome Research Institute, the National Library of Medicine, and Patient Advocate Foundation. Even with higher possibilities of neuropsychological disorders, according to the study that was done by Rapek and his colleagues, adult DMD patients profess that their quality of life is considered to be excellent. This is due to the fact that most of them have a positive experience with personal assistance, education, housing, financial situation, and immobilization. Caregiving in DMD can be described as a subjective, substantial burden. Perhaps it is linked with impaired health-related quality of life, in which there is an increase in the presence of depressions and anxiety, family dysfunction, stress, pains, lower self-esteem, poor sleep quality, and sexual dysfunction. To assist with the psychological struggles when dealing with DMD, professionals advise individuals as well as their caregivers to stay connected with other families who are going through the same diagnosis. This encourages all families to have people that could fully understand and share the same struggles that they are experiencing. This can be done through friends, website, or social media. At last, during the transition period to adulthood, individuals with DMD and their families should be educated on the issue of long-term care goals by professionals concerning that involve the progression of the disease and deal with the uncomfortability matter of death and dying. It is important to have emotional or psychological support for both the patients and their families, especially in regards to the topic of end of life. Resources established by their community can assist during this time of difficulty.
In conclusion, DMD not only affects the physical aspects of individuals, but also has a profound psychological and interpersonal impact on mental health and quality of life. The families of those with DMD face many emotional challenges and are forced to demonstrate resilience in the face of adversity. Educators also play a crucial role in providing support and accommodations for children with DMD, addressing their unique learning challenges to help them succeed. Transitioning to adulthood brings along additional psychological struggles, but accessible environments, advocacy, research participation, and community engagement can make all the difference. Together, we can create a compassionate and inclusive society for individuals with DMD and their families.